Hey guys, what's going on? We got another Enhancement Shaman PvP video. We are doing 3v3s this time. Plum is on his demo lock and Shook is on his Prez Evoker. We were just planning on messing around mostly, not really doing stuff because honestly the season's kind of felt a bit weird. I don't know. So we've just been sticking to random stuff and just playing around. And so for this video, I am playing both Stormbringer and Totemic for the last couple. So keep that in mind. And as I've played, I have noticed some changes in, even though I don't have regular Ascendants, I am running Root of Elements. It honestly, it still feels really low in damage. Like you can see my damage just unable to connect and stuff here, but you can also see how rusty I am as I have not really done much PvP recently as of late because I haven't really felt it. But anyways, on to the match. So we're fighting a Ret Pally, a Holy Paladin, and a Frost Paladin, a Frost Mage here. Our main focus is kind of the Mage. Now, due to Mage's high mobility and the fact that its Frost has infinite roots and slows for me, with two Paladins giving it freedom and everything like that, it's near impossible for me to connect to the Mage, just due to all those factors. So whenever I can, I am going to more or less focus on connecting when I have Primordial Wave and Doom Winds ready to go. So you can see here, I am on him, making sure that he can't get away. I see my cooldowns coming up, so I go ahead, drop a cap totem. There's the ice block. Perfect. And then he breaks it. He takes it off, which was very, very interesting. So I pop a Primordial Wave here. I use Doom Winds, do a little combo, but I didn't get any procs, but it is enough damage, and because Primordial Storm is an AoE effect, it doesn't matter who I hit as long as somebody's within range, and we were able to take down the Ret Pally. So on to this one. This is a double Destro lock. I believe it's a Holy Priest, maybe a Disc Priest, I don't know. So this one, it doesn't really matter. Pick a target and focus them, but as soon as you start to get into trouble, like you see those Chaos Bolts flying, you don't have grounding or anything, you gotta book it. And you'll see me do that here in just a moment. You see I get Mortal Coiled, I see the Infernals coming out. He uses his Demonic Embrace, I think, or Demonic Armor, so that way he has his defensive up. I proc another Ascendance, but I see the other Warlock just throwing Chaos Bolts at me. Drop my Shield Totem, making sure I'm not taking too much damage, and I see Plum's already used a bunch of cooldowns. I go ahead and stun the other Warlock to kind of slow a bit of damage. I see more Chaos Bolts coming out. I had another one. So I go ahead and burrow, run away. So at this point, they have no cooldowns. I'm going to kind of sit here, poke a little bit, and then charge back in. He's getting low. Plum is doing an absolute number on his HP. We're getting them low. And now they're stacked for whichever reason. They are stacked up. Go ahead and trinket the Mortal Coil so I can stay aggressive and not worry about dying here. He goes to cast Chaos Bolts, but Plum uses stun, so I interrupt that one. Then we get a big old 3.2 million Tempest to finish him off. Now, in a perfect world, these guys would have been in more of a triangular formation, forcing me into weird positions, not being stacked up like they were, so that way I couldn't connect or interrupt both of them. We'd have to focus one, while the other one kind of sits there in free casts. But on to the next one. We have Elemental Shaman and we have Beastmaster Hunter. Now, this one was a bit weird. Because I have a demo lock on my team, I don't want to run after them. I want them to come to us. I want them in the Warlock zone. The reason why is because the Warlock works best when it has its Demonic Circle and its gateways to use. So I have to be careful not to put him into awkward positions because a lot of times he's going to be the target, especially against melees. And when we did fight some melees, we didn't really have the best of luck. But there, the Resto Druid did something really weird and stunned me right away. And the Hunter's on the other side of the Ellie Shaman, so we kind of just went ahead and start hitting the Hunter. And here he starts backing off, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to start backing off too. I see the Shaman pop Ascendant, so I go ahead and drop Grounding Totem, soak a bit of damage. And now the Hunter's starting to push in. I go ahead, drop a Cap Totem, try and get the stun, get it right onto the Ellie Shaman there, and start pushing damage onto this Hunter. I can see Plum wants to bring him down, so that's what I start working on, see if I can't get him. There, I should have already interrupted that regrowth. Again, I am not in the most warmed up state for PvP right now, so this is like, you're going to see a significant amount of mistakes. So the hunter pushes in really hard here, forcing the druid's hand to kind of come in close, but the druid's more focused on doing damage, which is very interesting in my opinion. So we get a huge amount of damage and he pops turtle. Perfect. There's no point in me going after the shaman for a second because I wanted to dip around, see if I can't pull him closer. He jumps away, back off again, get LOS, make sure the shaman can't hit me, make sure I'm dipping around this pole so that way he can't really hurt me all that much, taking damage for no reason. Now the hunter pushes back in, which is very, very odd, so we just start putting a whole lot of damage into him and he ends up falling over. I don't know why they didn't just try and pull me away, but, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now on to the next match, even though it's on the same map. We are fighting an Arcane Affliction Warlock. Now, this is probably one of the more annoying comps. The reason being is Arcane Mages are very slippery, meaning they have a lot of blinks, mobility, CC, that we can't really touch them. And Affliction Warlocks are just really annoying in terms that they don't really have to do much to get their damage out. Their damage is just going to be constantly ticking, so it's always a pain in the butt. So you can see right here I'm prepping a cap totem, drop it over onto the mage, connect to him, see if I can't get anything. The priest had instantly connected a stun onto me, so I chase after him. I have grounding ready, so I'm waiting a few seconds to proc it. There we go, drop it right now. That way I'm not scaring Shook too much since I'm pushed in so deep. And then I get coiled. I probably should have trinketed here, but I was like, I should be able to burrow, so I go ahead and use that. Use burrow to interrupt the warlock because he had free casting on due to his defensive. And here I just sit behind the wall, you know, not taking much damage. He puts up an ice wall, but it doesn't really connect to Shook here, so it doesn't really do too much. And now the mage is kind of putting himself into a really weird position. He's on the floor where I don't think he should be, and he's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of odd. But anyways, he pushes onto us, we get his ice block, sweet. So now that that's over, we switch to the warlock real quick. He ports away, see the arcane surge, damage is coming out. I absolutely flub an interrupt, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. And then I see the warlock kind of pushing up, so I switch to him. I don't really want to chase after the mage too much, but I had a big tempest there, so I swapped it to him. Drop a cap totem. And now this I probably should have just stayed on the Afflock, but, you know, me being me, I wanted the mage to die, so chasing after him. I get soul shredded. Bit unfortunate, but he pops Evocate here, getting his big damage ready. And here comes a lot of damage onto me, which I should have already walled. But because I got a polymorph interrupt on him, I didn't really have to worry too much. And there's the Doom Winds Primordial Storm. So Arcane Mages are definitely a pain, but they only have one school to cast from. So anything you interrupt on them is going to put them at a pretty big setback. So now we're on to our first melee cleave, which is Ret Paladin Warrior. And we are also playing Totemic for this one. So the Totemic works really well into cleave comps because of how much damage you can dish out to multiple targets at once. And you can see the druid is kind of already being pushed away from his team, and you can see the Ret Paladin, he's kind of falling over. The warrior's taking a load of damage. We're just doing a whole lot to them. So the druid still hasn't, he doesn't have trinket, he has adaption, so that's good. And I'm getting pushed on here, but that's fine because that means Plum is able to use his abilities to the fullest and free cast. And then the warrior just falls over. I'm not quite sure what happened, but a bit unfortunate on their part. And now here onto the, I believe, final match, which is a rogue mage. Now, rogue mages are definitely a pain in the butt, but here I was able to get the rogue out of stealth using Earth Grab Totem, so it was quite helpful. Earth Grab is definitely super useful. And now I chase after the mage a little bit because I want to put pressure on him, making him scared. And honestly, it kind of screws up their opener. So you can see they used a bit of CC. I jump back in, trying to get on top of them. There's a nice block. Perfect. So now the rogue's on his own. I go ahead and lasso. It ends up breaking. I think I casted something. I'm not sure, but it ended up breaking. So I use Cap Totem, move it on top of the mage because I want to connect to him. And then he's pushed really far away. I don't feel like chasing. I'm just going to stop the clone, try and get Shook saved, essentially, because the rogue is doing a number on him. And the druid was by me, so I start putting pressure on him. And now they're swapping to me. This is where I should have trinketed, but I didn't. I also have Burrow, but I don't have it on my bar. So that was one thing that I didn't realize I didn't have. It is talented, but it's not on my bar. Bit unfortunate. So here they back off completely, putting me in kind of a weird spot. And there's the second ice block. Perfect. So now the mage is an ice block and the druid CC'd. So I'm just staying on top of the mage, making sure that he can't get away. Pop Doom Winds and Primordial Wave and just get a whole bunch of damage out. You can just see they're all on the back foot. So much damage is going out, they don't know what to do. And then the rogue falls. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you're still enjoying PvP because I'm a bit on the fence right now. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!